Hey everyone, I just want to welcome you. Today we're going to be talking about our financial proposal for Zeal Church. My name is John Harrington. I am the consultant that Zeal Church has hired to speak with you guys today. So let's get started. I just want to start with a couple things that you may or may not already know about Zeal Church. Currently, your average attendance is about 400 people. And while that is very good, over the past few years, it seems as though things have plateaued a little bit. In talking with Pastor Josh Harrington, who's your lead pastor, we've discovered that we've kind of just hit an area where things have kind of stopped. You've stopped growing. And so our goal for right now is to be able to help jumpstart some growth, help take some steps towards growing the church itself. And then Pastor Josh's heart and kind of the vision is to see lost people in the local community come to know Jesus. His heart is truly for seeing people just coming to the local church and being involved and staying plugged in. And so as we continue, we're going to talk a little bit about the core values, because the core values of any church are vital to the vision. They are vital to what we're going to be doing here as we're launching a capital campaign, as we're trying to grow funds and raise funds and help bring the congregation alongside us to partner with us so that we can break the mold that things have kind of been stuck in. So those 7 core values are being focused on the unchurched, and that's just having a heart for people who don't know Jesus yet. Pursuing excellence, that's something we should do in all facets of life. We are passionate, we serve, being authentic, we love others, and we are generous. And all of those are kind of the driving force behind what we're trying to do here. They cast the vision for Zeal Church, and they're going to be what helps us bring people alongside so that they can partner with us. So the budget proposal, these are just a few statistics that I was able to work through and kind of pull up for you guys. Current per capita giving is approximately $30 per person. That's pretty good, but I think that we can do better and we can continue to grow. Average annual income for the church is around $612,000 per year, which is a really good number. But again, we want to bump that up a little bit. We want to be able to grow some more, and we also need to be able to use our funds and manage our funds in a better way. We want to steward what God has given us in order to help us grow and continue to see the vision that you guys have for Zeal Church really come to fruition. We need to raise funds beyond this in order to see that vision come alive. So I mocked up a budget proposal because things seemed to be a little bit out of whack. The budget was kind of all over the place and inconsistent. So just kind of going through, evangelism and missions is going to take up about 10% of that annual income. And that's because we really want to push serving the local community. We want to push missions that are in and around our local community, but also we want to be able to have missions trips, go out of the country, do things internationally. And then payroll is going to be about 56%. And that's so important because we have to keep people paid. We want to have the staff. And then facilities, 10%. Ministries, that's student ministry, kids ministry, all of those different areas. Worship, that's going to encompass about 17%. And then 2% for miscellaneous. And now what we're also doing is we're not going to quite hit, we're leaving about 5% of the annual budget to be able to have some wiggle room, because some years giving may be up, some years giving may be down. So you want to have a little bit of room to play with just in case. We're also going to be instituting some new bylaws, some different things, some regulations that are going to help us protect what we're trying to build and protect what we're trying to do. So the first thing is the function of these bylaws is to have financial integrity and stewardship. The way you steward your money is incredibly important, and it's so important that we just are protecting and making sure that all the staff and the organization as a whole are protected. We're also going to be instituting a treasurer and financial staff that are solely devoted to protecting and overseeing the funds that come in and the donations that come in to Zeal Church. And then third, we're going to have a ministry leadership team. That's you guys. We already kind of have that in place, but all ministry leadership staff are going to be responsible for what goes on, for how finances are overseen, and everyone's going to be able to see and kind of not necessarily manage those funds, but we want to be transparent. We want to create a culture of transparency. And then we've also got tithes, offering, and donations. Those should be counted by no less than 2 staff or church members. Again, this is protecting what's coming in. We want to have accountability at all times and steward what we have correctly. Same thing for financial records. All financial records will be kept locked up. They will be here at the church. They will be kept safe. And then we'll also be sharing them when needed with the congregation. Any sort of misuse of funds through fraud, misappropriation, misapplication shall be reviewed by the church leadership team and the financial management department. And then last but not least, we've got our budget, and the financial management team will meet yearly to establish a budget for the year that will be overseen by everyone, including the congregation. So now we're getting into our capital campaign. The current mortgage is about $3 million. And so what we want to do is raise $1 million to help with that debt. This is our big push. We want to get out of that debt so that we can then carry out that vision that Pastor Josh has for the local church. So there's 3 parts to this campaign. The first is development, which is what we're doing now. We're developing it. The second thing is vision. And vision is incredibly important. It's what we want to see happen for the church. So we want to establish a greater impact in the local community through serving. We also want to help make the building a little bit nicer. We want to add to the worship center to create an awesome worship experience for people who are coming in, and all of these things, and that comes through vision. And then execution and management is where we're actually going to act that out. That's the part where we're going to use the right verbiage. That's the part where we're going to speak to the congregation, get them on board, help build that time together, and then we're going to execute it. And that way, we are raising funds for everything that we need and to get us out of debt. And also with Pastor Josh's heart for serving, for missions, we're going to be requesting a $30,000 grant to help with local outreach. And all of this is going not only to get us out of debt, but really so we can truly impact the kingdom, so we can impact the community for God, and so that we can go and we can just make more disciples of Jesus, because that is truly Pastor Josh's heart. So that's what we want to see, and we want to have 1/3 of the debt paid off by 2023. So that's our vision, that's our hope, that's our plan going into this, and I'm excited, and let's see what God can do through this. So thank you guys, I appreciate you. We're excited to be partnering with you and to make this happen.